Hi there, I'm Rick Hines, the Product Development Manager from Fender Amplifiers, and I'm here at Craft Music to talk about the newly designed Fender pedals. Now, Fender has done pedals in the past, but we've taken a whole new look at these, and we've had someone internally design them by the name of Stan Cody. Now, Stan's done a great job. He's an amazing guitarist, and he's also a brilliant engineer who can look at a schematic. He can design amplifiers. So he's taken a fresh new look at this and designed 6 new pedals, everything from buffers to compressor, delay, overdrive, distortion, and reverb. So why don't we get into it right now? First, let's talk about the Marine Layer reverb. Now, this reverb isn't the typical Fender spring reverb. Because we cover that so well, we thought doing something a little unique and special would be great with this pedal. So you've got a few different sounds. You've got room, hall, and special. So you can get everything from kind of close-sounding room reverb to really, really big, lush sounds. You have a couple of different variations that you can do. You have the ability to blend it up so you can get a nice full sound, or pull it back a little bit so that you've got more clarity when you're playing. You have the ability to let the feedback kind of extend. So I'm going to go through these pedals and pick some of my favorite sounds. With the Marine Layer, I love this really lush, extended reverb sound that it creates. It creates a type of ambience that I really, really love. So I'm going to go ahead and extend that decay to make it really, really long and lush, and play a few chords, and you'll see how big that sounds. Next up, we have the mirror image delay. Now, this delay has a bunch of great sounds and features. One of the things is it has, everything from analog to tape to digital delay. With the analog, you can actually adjust the amount of warble that you get, just like the old machines. You can set the amount of repeats. You can obviously set the delay. One of the great features about this delay is you have the ability to turn on and off in dotted eighth note. That means if you're playing praise and worship, or you need more time-based delay, you can add that to it, which is a really nice feature. You have the ability to blend in and out the delay so you can find the sweet spot. For me, I'm going to dial in something that has that dotted eighth note and do some sort of time-based playing to kind of illustrate how those delays sound. Next up is the Pugilist distortion. Now, Pugilist means boxer, and with this distortion pedal, you get a ton of beefy tones. One of the best features about this is you actually have 2 different distortion engines. This is something unique to this pedal. So you have the ability with the side A to blend in the tone, so you can add a bit of brightness or make it dark, and distortion. The second channel, you have the same ability to blend in and out the distortion and the tone from warm to bright. But with the 2, you can set it up so that you have the blend knobs. You can blend in just the right amount of channel A, which will get you a little bit more clarity, with channel B, which gets you more sustain and more fullness. You find that sweet spot, and you can do everything from light distortion to full-on gain. You can also stack them in series, so then you have both distortion engines running into each other. That gives you even more gain. And you have the ability to add bass to the low end, so if you want a little more thunk in the low end, you can do that. It's a great sounding pedal. There are tons of different tones in this. I'm going to find one of my favorite sounds, which gives me kind of that 80s LA rock or metal tone. And let's see how that sounds. The Santa Ana Overdrive is Fender's unique take on the overdrive circuit. It's not based on any of those classic circuits that other people use. We started from scratch. You have a 4-band EQ. That means you can adjust bass, middle, treble, and presence, which is a really nice feature. You have the ability to blend the gain up, so you can get everything from bluesy to full-on distortion. A great feature on the Santa Ana Overdrive is that you have the ability to select between different styles of amplifiers. So let's say I'm playing a typical Fender that has kind of a scooped middle. I would select channel A, and that would give me the clarity and the fullness that I want. But we all know if you're using other amplifiers that tend to be on the brighter side, sometimes overdrives don't play nicely. That's what's nice about this switch is you select it to channel B. That means it's going to cut some of the top end off. It's going to be a little smoother and warmer, and it'll play much nicer with those types of amplifiers. A great feature in the Santa Ana is it also has a boost. So that means if I'm using that for my rhythm tone and I want to boost up for a solo or make parts stand out, I can do so. The great part about this is I can choose to have the boost either be a level boost so that you just go up in volume, or I can actually add distortion to the sound. That makes it extremely flexible. One of my favorite sounds with the Santa Ana Overdrive is just a little bit of overdrive to let it sound like the tubes are really cooking. It's got a warm bluesy sound. Let's check it out. Next up is the Benz compressor. Now, Stan spent a lot of time making this compressor truly unique. It's one of those compressors that you can use very lightly just to pepper your sound a little bit, or you can go extreme with it, and rather than it clamping down on the notes that can make it sound extremely unmusical when you're a player, this one has a really, really smooth balance all the way up to extreme sounds. So you have the ability to blend in your natural sound with the compression. You can drive the front end of it, and when it clips, it does it in the most musical and pleasing way. So when I set this up, I like it to be a little more extreme. I find this pedal does extreme better than any other pedal that I've played before. So I'm going to play a little bit of country chicken picking and let you hear how that sounds. The last pedal is the level set buffer. Now, buffers are one of those pedals that sometimes guitarists have a hard time understanding what they do. But the way that I use it in my signal chain is sometimes when I have a lot of pedals in my pedal chain, I'll lose a bit of top end and clarity. That's a natural thing when you're having so many cables and pedals. What the level set buffer will do is it'll actually increase some of the top end so that you can set some of the sparkle back into your sound, which is important for a lot of guitarists. The other thing that you can do is you can set it up so that if you have two different guitars, one with humbuckers and one with single coils, you can adjust the level so that between guitars, you're not losing that level. Even though they'll sound different, there won't be a huge drop in volume. One other great feature is if you do have a tuner, you can run that out to the side, and when you turn off the level set, now you've got your silent tuner. I'd also like to mention about the Fender pedals that on top of the fact that they sound great and aesthetically they look great, they're also very, very functional. They have this amazing magnetic door, so when you open the bottom to replace the battery, there's no more looking for screws or trying to close it. It automatically closes back up when you're done. You can change pedals instantly. The other nice feature is they have light-up knobs. So if you're playing on stage and you need to see where everything's set, you can actually turn those on so you'll see where everything's set. However, if you don't want that, you can turn them off as well. Even the input jacks are slightly staggered on either side so that you can stack pedals closer because we realize that guitarists need all the space they can get on their pedal boards. There you have it, 6 unique and truly Fender pedals. Great for guitarists for all different types of tones. If you're interested, check them out at craftmusic.com. I'm Rick Hines. Thanks for watching.